Well, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
Are we approving the article, or are we supporting it? Are we doing the same thing we did the first article?
I think the law says that you have to approve, you have to vote to approve the development of a shared.
Okay, all right, all right.
Bear with me, I'm loading the warrant now.
And we don't need the warrant article.
Yeah,
then?
no, we don't need it.
No.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the joint school, town, buildings, and maintenance override of $729,583.
Yep,
Right.
that's the right number.
And it's Article 4, if you want to reference that in your motion as well.
It's Article 4.
Mhm.
Okay. Do I need to say that one more time, Laura?
I would, you got it? Okay.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed?
No.
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 Okay. That's.
Did you have a second?
Did I have a second?
You didn't.
You didn't.
Oh, you have
All
to
right,
vote
I
in.
need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
No.
No.
No. Okay. We will get right back to Beverly tomorrow.
Right.
All right, moving on to old business. Oh, the second part of old business is the honorary diploma discussion. I gave you the information from this man's daughter who's looking for a diploma for his father, for her father, I'm sorry, who was shuffled between relatives, his parents, while World War II was taking place. His parents were welders. One was a welder, one was a riveter, I'm sorry. He went back to repeat school at least twice, and by the 10th grade he ended up quitting to help support the family. And from there he enlisted into the Navy and served on aircraft carrier, and then went on to do quite a bit of work in the engineering field, has several patents. And well, you've read it all. The governance subcommittee discussed this, and we discussed it with Carol, and we actually discussed it with Peter as well. And although we don't have a formal policy in the policy manual, we felt that due to the extenuating circumstances, and you can't get much more extenuating than World War II, that we should grant this request.
And because you confer diplomas.
Because we confer diplomas, we
That's the
felt
law.
we needed to vote on it. So,
Well, I think
I
it's
don't know if you have any
important to
other
know.
questions.
I'd like to know how much community college was done, but I don't have any questions on this.
okay. Any others?
I think we pretty much discussed it at the last meeting. I mean, I guess going forward, from what I read, we will handle these on an individual basis, because we're setting a little bit of a precedence for future committees.
We are, and we're aware of that. That's why, we felt that, citing the extenuating circumstances of him being forced to move during school was at least the place to start for now. And I didn't want
Serving
to.
in the war.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
serving in the
didn't
war.
want to
Absolutely.
put
And
this family
going on
off.
to make contributions in his field
And to the town, right?
and to the town as well.
So, all right, so
So how does this work? So if we confer this, that means, would he be a member of the current graduating class? Because that'd be pretty awesome.
yes,
Yes, he would.
That's
we'll make sure he gets an
That is
invitation to
excellent, isn't it?
graduation and
that is awesome.
everything else.
That's great. I didn't
I
think
love
of that
that.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Many years later, right?
Yes.
so
We're still learning all those years later.
all right. If there's no more questions, Chair will entertain a motion to bestow an honorary diploma on Mr. David Brocklebank.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Any more discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I will email his daughter tomorrow and let her know. I'm sure she'll be very happy.
Great.
I like that. Moving on to new business. We
I'm just
have,
trying to picture graduation day now. That's
I
pretty,
think the crowd will be,
that's pretty
You were
cool.
part of something good on your last meeting.
Good and bad. No, good and bad.
okay.
You did the right order on that.
New,
Ann.
oh,
Bad
yes,
first,
thank
good
you.
last.
Yes, I thought so. The acceptance of a computer donation.
Yes, we have parent John Billington, who was able to arrange for a donation of 4 Dell computers. And he worked with Copyright Clearance Center to do this. Apparently, the computers are in demand, and he got his name on the list, and they informed him that 4 were available. So These are going to be donated and used to Pembroke School, and we'll, of course, accept the donation with gratitude, and I'm sure they'll go to good use at Pembroke.
Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the donation of 4 Dell computers from the Copyright Clearance Center as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Any more discussion? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now a little family cap override discussion. One of the big issues with the override not passing is that athletic fees will jump approximately $135 to $585 and $585 at the high school and $505 at the middle school. We feel that if the override passes, and there will be no family cap. We feel that if the override does pass, that we would like to reduce the fees, the current fees, down to
3 something.
$325 and $285, I believe.
255.
$255.
$125.
Determine those figures, though, due to the fact that enrollment,
Round, I mean,
We're rounding them.
yeah, I mean, based on our
I'm
latest
saying
numbers.
that's what we're-
Based
What
on-
is
well,
your question?
that's based on the latest numbers of
521.
Last year's
student
Which-
activity,
Which numbers,
participation.
which numbers, Eric? The override numbers or the
The
non-override?
reducing of the fees
Right.
was based on the number of athletes that participated this year,
Correct.
Correct.
which is a variable. So we really can't come up with that number until we know how many kids.
But we have to sign-ups start in the summer.
Right.
So we don't know until the sign-ups really start what happens in the fall.
Our
Right.
concern is the other end. of
The
it.
other
If
end
we
is
lower
if
the
we-
fees, the goal would be to encourage more students that have now had to make choices between 1, 2, or 3 sports to be able to once again participate in sports at a
Hoping with the
higher
with
level.
the very large class that's moving to the middle school this year of 154 kids.
There's more students
There,
coming in.
there's we're graduating about 100, so we're hoping that will increase the enrollment as well.
But we are
But-
worried because we did base it the other way on
Right.
540 students. And I think the concern of the committee when we talked, it's certainly a concern of the administration, is
Going below
that if you increase them to 600, then it's very likely that the 540 might go in the wrong
Right,
direction.
absolutely,
and
but that all
that's
depends
a
on the
problem,
override
too.
passing.
That's probably
Correct, and the
2 weeks.
point was that the override, should it pass, should it not pass, there will be no family cap. Right now, there is a $1,500 family cap in place, and what this motion is about is actually making sure that a $1,500 family cap would still be in place if the override does pass.
We just didn't discuss it. Remember when we were putting the things on the list?
That's a discussion you can actually wait to have unless you want to do it now.
It seems like
Wait
you're
to
putting the
have
cart
until
before
after
the
the
horse a
override,
little
yeah.
bit, but.
Well, a lot of people are concerned about this. A lot of people in the public, this has been a big question for Stand Up for Georgetown, who are really heading up the campaign for the override, and they are getting a lot of questions about
Well,
the
I
family cap.
would think naturally, if the override passes and we're able to reduce rates, I would even see the family gap going down.
Well, we had
Well, we
had that
1,500.
conversation.
We had
Instead
that,
of
yeah, we had
1,000.
that conversation
Yeah.
as well. And
Yeah, we were
because
looking at 1,200, actually,
I
when we
think
talked about it.
maybe the idea is that there will be
there
some
will
type
be
of
a cap.
family cap.
Right, but I think we're all in agreement that if the override passes, fees come down, we're gonna try to make it better for everybody involved.
Right.
Right.
But it's like we're doing one little piece of it we're gonna vote on now, and then we're gonna figure out the rest of it, depending on if this override passes or doesn't pass.
Right. Eric's not here. Eric is here. I'm looking at him. Dave is not here. This was something that after the last meeting.
Well, Dave wasn't here then either.
The meeting we talked about the fees initially.
Yes.
And we agreed what was going to go on the list. If you remember, we said, fees were going to go up. And Dave's question was, is there going to be a family cap if the override passes? Because we really didn't discuss that. We just said we're going to lower them $125 a sport. So I think the reason you're having this discussion is because Dave asked to have it
Okay.
put on for the discussion amongst the committee. If you don't feel you're ready to do it, you can certainly
Well, if we
table
were
it, but
voting
that's why
on
it's
the
coming
whole
on now.
fee structure for sports at this time, I think it would make
That would
sense,
make more
but.
sense.
Well, I think it's a challenge. I mean, what's the motion? That there will be a family cap if Article whatever passes? That's our motion that we're voting on? That's a interesting motion. That's what it would be, right?
Yeah, I think
If article- what's our-
we were
what's our
saying
article?
to approve
I don't
$1,500 family cap for athletes if user fees were lowered with the override.
I don't think it should be 1,500. I think it should be 1,000. It should be lower.
All right, then we need to
Or
discuss
it might be
this further.
1,200.
It's usually
Then we'll
It's gonna
discuss-
depend on the
we'll-
budget.
come
we'll
pretty
table this.
close to
But you're right, we don't have to have the
No,
answer
Usually
tonight.
three times the highest fee. I mean, we've come close to that number when we've done this for the past 9 years.
Did you,
Since
We've always been
started?
around
have
there.
you always had a family cap,
Mhm.
George?
Yep.
Okay.
We've always had one.
And so there, when it was at this level, because it's, I think you had at least one jump before this, right?
Well, we've had several, because when I started, we were at like 150.
And was there family caps then, and it was a thousand?
All the way through, there's a family cap.
Was it under $1,000 at
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
It averaged around 2.5 to 3
Okay,
times
well, that
the
makes
highest
sense. See, the
sport.
historical
Okay.
perspective, right? If that was how it was calculated, that makes sense.
But I would suspect that would be the same case here. I can't imagine, because if you think about it, if they play 5 sports, they're going to be over the 1,500. Why would,
All right,
where's
we
your
don't,
benefit?
then we
You
don't
get
need to
play 5
vote on this.
sports, I
We
guess,
just need to
right?
state basically is that it's the intention of the school committee that if the override passes, there will be a family cap and it will be based on the number of,
2.5 times the fee?
well, it's,
I
Or
wouldn't-
2.5
No.
to 3
I
times.
wouldn't
Two
state
That
that
should be
either.
a-
no, there
No.
will be a family cap if the override passes.
And that should be your ball, but that should be your target.
Based
I
on
would
participation
recommend
levels.
that.
We'll
It'll be
recommend
based on participation levels. It'll be based on.
What the program costs to run.
Similar calculation to what we're
We
doing
don't have
right
any
now.
of that.
No,
right
what
now.
you're going to see though is you're going to see the participation rate go up. You'll probably be a little more financially sound, have a little more flexibility with that. But you're going to have 3 returning members anyway that can have this discussion.
Right,
So it'd be a problem actually have 2
Yeah.
returning members.
right. All right, then we will just table
Table
this
Agreed.
and move on to the superintendent's evaluation.
And, you know, I do think it's important to convey the message that we are supportive of a cap.
Yes, we're definitely supportive of a cap.
It's just how we're gonna get to it.
Yeah,
All
when it
right.
would be, right.
Generally, the superintendent's evaluation is based on a set of criteria that has been put forth and approved by the committee and the superintendent. And there's several different aspects of it. Generally, the minutes from this meeting serve as, the minutes of this meeting serve as the actual evaluation going forward. So, is it the wish of the committee that we just speak to, I read each performance standard and we just each make a couple of comments about it going forward?
Well, I would like to make a general comment ahead of time.
All right.
Because I did not meet with the superintendent ahead of time as we have to in accordance with your contract, correct?
Yeah.
So.
But I can certainly waive that opportunity, and I think I've talked to individual
So
people.
Have spoken?
when I'm going to,
Not in the depth I spoke to you.
Okay.
what I'm going to recommend as far as my evaluation for the future negotiating committee, Laura, if you can have this in the minutes, is for the next committee, if it's okay with the superintendent, to take a look at the May 2010 through April 2011 minutes for comments in terms of using those minutes also as a foundation for the superintendent negotiations. That way because my comments are in there, they're in those minutes.
Okay.
So I don't want to hold up this process.
Okay. And did-
Carol, is that okay
did
with
you
you?
meet with her?
I didn't as well. So that's
Okay.
you've got, and I don't know how
Okay.
realistic that is what George just stated, but
Well,
Well,
from my standpoint, it is. You're quieter.
That's all I
yeah.
Just slightly quieter.
yeah, that's
Depends
debatable.
what the issue is.
That's debatable.
is.
I mean,
Okay, well, I don't want your whole evaluation to be based on my comments, so I don't want to do that either. I don't think that that's fair to the committee.
Well, you can
So,
always extend it, Ann, if you want to. You could bring Ann Blythe and Dave into the fold too and just table it to the next meeting. That's an option. Then you have a majority of the committee represented.
okay.
we're
Then
actually
you can make the decision.
we're at
I
actually
mean, Carol
officially.
would have to waive the dedeline, obviously, to do that, but
Would you be willing to do that?
Whatever
that's-
you
I
want,
think that's fair.
whatever you want to do.
that's even fair.
Are you sure?
You just have the majority represented. Okay.
So, do you want to go through an evaluation with her that we can, between now and in the next 2 weeks, and then we can read those comments in?
Yeah, I can submit something to the committee to be
Just so
read.
that yours can be.
I would be
Yeah.
very willing.
Would you be willing to do
Yeah,
that?
I
And then we
would-
can
I
just
would
read
do
it
that.
into
We
the,
can read it
read
in,
into the
because-
minutes at the next meeting.
We're
I would do
officially
that.
on the committee up for another
Till the 9th.
till the
Yeah,
9th.
till the 9th.
So you have 2 more weeks.
Okay, we'll do that.
I will do that too.
You're comfortable with that?
That's even
And
better.
then we'll just do the actual public discussion then.
That's fine.
Okay, excellent, we'll move that. Thank you. The school committee self-evaluation. I want to thank those of you who participated and filled out your forms, not them. But you have in front of you the comments, and going back, I went back and I pulled out our goals for the 2010-2011 school